welcome to the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show. My name is Vanita Lambert, and I am the host of this show. I have the honor of hosting the show and bringing on a variety of guests. And today I have a really good friend of mine, Mr. John Irvin Jr. How are you, John?
I'm doing well, Vanita.
Welcome to the show,
And,
John.
thank you. We've talked about this for a while.
Yes,
so
we did. I finally got
getting
him
this done.
here.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to be back in Connecticut.
Came
for sure.
all the way from Atlanta just to visit us. We go way back. I mean, John is a really good friend. I love his family. I love his son. He's the godfather of my youngest son, Jonathan. He's also an educator. He does
a new educator.
a new educator.
My second year of teaching. Second year of being a high school teacher.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Well, every time I'm around you, John, I learn something new. So you've been educating me in the IT field a lot.
That's
You were an IT consultant, and you're also a coach.
Yes.
You coach baseball. That's wonderful. And your son played baseball. That's got to bring back. You got to have a real passion for that.
Right.
That's got to bring back some memories and some fun times.
Just like with you, your husband is a good friend of mine. With him and his son, they had the football together since they were babies, and that my son Nathaniel, same thing here in Bridgeport. Came up through the Little Leagues. Played at Central High, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Well, I really appreciate you coming back to visit us. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself? And I know there's a lot to tell.
Well,
so what would you like to tell our audience? And hopefully, and everything we do here, we kind of, what's my passion is stories. Stories stay with people. So why don't you tell us, your life story and sum it up in 20 minutes, because that's all we got.
Okay. My life story is not, I probably sum it up in a lot less than that, but I'll try to do my best.
He's a real interesting guy. Don't believe that.
But I was born and raised in Bridgeport, and in the mid '50s, and my parents moved from southern Georgia to like a lot of African Americans migrated from the south and came to the northern cities. And my dad, had a good job in the factory. My mom raised us and sent us to schools, and we all were educated in Bridgeport public schools. And growing up in Bridgeport during the 60s, 70s was a lot of fun. We had things like the Barnum Festival in Seaside Park, and we had all the little neighborhoods in Bridgeport. Bridgeport was a town where everyone knew each other. It was not really that big.
You grew up in a good part of Bridgeport. Where'd you grow up? You had a house? You had a mom and a dad, a lot different from me. I had a mother and I was in a project. So, I mean, it's, and that's what everybody thinks about Bridgeport. So it's more than just, the project's a single mother and a bunch of kids. Your whole family has, degrees and...
Bridgeport was the working family's dream where, if you were in the project, like we lived in Beardsley Terrace, and... my dad had the opportunity to buy a house.
How much was the house?
Way less than that. We're talking about 1963 or something. So I'm not really sure, but the housing market houses probably were over $20,000 back then. And so yes, I was a lucky kid.
Yes, you were.
Matter of fact, on my street. My parents I had the basketball.
You had great parents. I give it to you.
It was kind of like a hub, and a lot of good friendships, a lot of good experiences, as a kid. But yes, I had great, loving parents.
Yes, you did.
That's one thing that I'm so grateful in life. And I think that as as working an educator and looking at young kids who come from single parent homes, I keep that in mind. That I was lucky,
Very.
and fortunate to
Yeah, your
to have had the
parents,
life I had.
and that's the advantage of having two parents. They did a great job. You're a respectable, honorable man, and they did a wonderful
Well,
job.
my
And
dad
that's
was
that
old
1-2
school.
punch.
My dad was old school. My mom was old school. My mom was like,
Yeah.
a s-
He's a mama's boy. You can tell, can't you? Let me
well,
stop.
that's debatable. I have three
The reason
sisters,
I
so
say that-
that's tough to be a mama's boy with three sisters.
Well, my definition of a mama's boy is a man that loves his mother so much that
okay.
you will do anything. You and Steve, I consider mama boys because Steve, he quit a full-time job to take care of his mom, and you would do anything for your mom every time. She was always part of the conversation because that's how she raised you.
Right, right.
And that's my definition of a mama's boy. I don't mean like spoiled
No,
and that mama's boy. So.
As
I think that's great. I hope I got a mama's boy.
as as that almost leads into how I left Bridgeport. For many years, after high school and college, I worked for the phone company for a bit, and then I got into IT work. I was working in New York for a bunch of years, and great time during the '90s. But things happened after my father passed in '97, and then my mother early 2000. My mother went to live with one of my sisters, so I was in Bridgeport kind of by myself.
So, I was going to say, how did you get to Atlanta?
But my
your
mother
was there?
Family was in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
And I was looking toward the future.
Okay.
I said, the next 20 years, I'm running up and down the road. So, with my background in information technology, I said, I could just get a job. So I decided to move to Atlanta. And Georgia is a family home for us. It's
And
where
it
our
was
family's from.
really,
It was tough. It was tough leaving Bridgeport. This is where all my friends are. This is where I'm here this weekend.
But you went to Georgia, and who's there? You just by yourself?
I have family there. I'm familiar, but I like that. That's adventurous. Going somewhere where you don't know anyone. You gotta, make new friends, and it's kind of it was hard in the beginning.
Because you're lonely. I would probably.
Well, no.
I'd probably be homesick.
No. It's a very welcoming place.
A good place to visit. I heard my husband had a good time. Tell me a little bit about that trip. I wanted to hear about that.
Well, me and your husband Joe, we play golf.
Play golf. That's why I didn't want to go.
That was our thing. We always talked about having this trip where we just would play golf every day. So we've been talking about this trip probably for the last 5 years.
Oh, y'all been planning this. I didn't know that.
And it picked him up from the airport. We went right to the golf course. Next day we got up, played golf.
Right
Next
to the
day
golf.
we got up, played golf. And
Joe loved it, I'm
the
sure.
fourth day we were too tired. We went to the Braves game. But it's hot down south.
Yeah, it
so.
is.
But
Joe-
this is what friendships are about. This
Yeah.
is what you have something to share with a good friend, and
Yeah, he told me he
We had a lot
really
of fun.
enjoyed it.
A lot of fun.
He only called me like maybe 2 times. I was like, wow, you having a good time?
Oh, we had a lot. There was a lot of, a lot of recouping after, a day of golf. So,
Right.
Oh, yeah, but that was fun.
And you only have one son, Nathaniel.
Yes,
That's your only son,
Yeah,
but you
it's
got
just
3 grandchildren?
3 grandkids, 2.
So you get to see them often?
Yes, yes.
How far is North Carolina from Georgia? Like 8 hours or something?
5.5.
Drive
5.5 hours.
So you get to see them pretty often?
Oh yeah, it's just
Oh,
we're
man.
real close, and I don't have a family, so it's just me. So I'm able to go
Hey,
move
what
and
am
go
I?
places.
Chopped liver?
No, but you have a family. You have a family. You just can't tell Joe and the kids, hey, I'm taking off. I'm going to be gone.
Can't believe me, I can do that. Tell him,
Okay.
Andy, I could do that.
Oh, wow. Well,
I'd be
you
like,
got-
listen, I'm going tomorrow. I'll see you in a
Okay.
week.
Well, you got it. So I do a lot of traveling for family. A lot of traveling.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
that's really good. So, tell me about your grandkids. How old are they?
The boys are, well, my oldest
So you got 2 boys and a girl?
Right.
Okay.
My oldest grandson, his birthday, we share the same day.
Oh.
So we just celebrated birthday a few weeks ago. He's 8 years old. His name is Enzo. Estello is under him. He's 7.
Okay.
And then my angel, sweetheart, princess, Eleanor.
She's like 3 or something
Eleanor
like that?
Opal will be 4.
Oh, okay.
And you know, girls are like, I told the boys, hey, it's over. I got a granddaughter. I love you, my grandsons, but the princess is number 1.
That's Kalani and my husband.
Yeah, exact. Same thing. I look at you and Joe with your granddaughter, same thing.
Yep.
Same thing.
If Joe was standing there and I'm standing here and you put Kalani in the middle, she would definitely run to him first.
Anything
but I cut
she
her
wants.
off. I run in front of him.
So that's a beautiful thing to have.
Yeah, it is.
To be a grandparent. It's a new role in life.
Oh,
so,
my goodness. I love it. I could have some more. I mean, as long as I get to spoil them and bring them home.
Well, you don't have them, B.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, my heart could stand a couple more. That's the good part.
Yeah.
That's the good part. I don't have to have them. I know, is Nathaniel still at, is it Duke, Washington? Joel and I took a trip.
Right.
I think it's like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I forget exactly when. And he set us up really nice at
he
Duke,
was working.
Washington. What a great hotel.
Working
it's so
for the
old school.
Washington Duke, but now he's
Yeah.
working over
Washington Duke.
at University of North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Him and Joe went golfing, of course. As soon as we got to our room, there was a big window. He had us facing the golf course. Joe just put his bag down. He didn't even take anything out, and he was on the golf course.
Right out there.
And he set me up with, they call it, I've never been to a professional tea time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, with the white gloves.
I was in
and all
heaven.
that.
I had the square plate with all of these different things that I could not name. And these, they brought out the pot, the real china.
There's something
I felt like
that
a queen there. It's a great place.
Yeah, it's like I never really even knew about it.
Oh.
But I see they even kind of, it's like more like a Southern English thing where
the furniture is old school.
Ladies get together and have
I had room service. I don't know how much it cost, but I said, you know what? I got to have room service. They brought it out with all the little silver trays that you see on TV. I was like a kid.
Well, yeah, it's
he really hooked us up.
It's a fancy place.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
I didn't know, I mean, it was great, but that tea time, I had so much fun. It was like, it brought me back to when I was a little girl, and I used to play with my tea sets. That's what it was like. And you had all these
okay.
Okay, man,
now I get
awesome.
it. Yep.
It was awesome. So he treated us real good. And we do the same when he comes up.
I mean, you guys have always, when I lived in Bridgeport and I was a single dad with Nathaniel, coming over to your house or your sister's house was like, oh,
Monica,
wow.
all that food.
Nathaniel, we knew we were going to eat, we were going to have fun, and we were going to go home with food. You guys would send us home with trays of food.
Absolutely. We love to
the
cook.
support of friends is, it's worth more than money.
Yeah, it is. I think we have a really special friendship. It's not perfect.
Well, life isn't.
No, it's not. It's got
we've been through just.
How long have we been friends? Like 30 years?
Well,
How old is Nathaniel now?
Nathaniel's 40.
Oh,
I can tell you how I met Joe.
Did he used to work at
Bridgeport Automatics?
I mean, did you have a house there or a store there or something?
He worked on the next street over from mine, but they used to cut through my backyard to go to the store.
That was your house?
Yeah, they used to, because I was building a fence and the fence was down.
They do that in Liberty, they
one
cut
day
through
I
your
came
yard
out
in a minute.
there, and him and Fred, I said, y'all got to pay.
Fred Richardson?
Fred Richardson. I said, y'all got to pay coming through here. And we became friends after that.
Oh, okay, yep. Joe's like that. Everybody loves Joe.
So this is in the 80s.
This is in the 80s, because you know what? What was the name of it? Bridgeport Automatics?
Bridgeport Automatics.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah,
Because
86.
Yeah, we had got our apartment in 81, me and Joe, and he had to pay some bills. So he had to get a job. Wow. Oh, just taking that trip down memory lane is so nice.
Well,
just reflecting on your life now that, I feel old now,
Well, the thing about, the thing about life, at least for me, I always looked at getting old. I say, the older you get, you have opportunities to do something different. So
it's a blessing.
like I worked in technology for 30 years, but when I got 62, I saw that in Georgia you could go back to school for free.
Yes, I tell everybody that.
I started taking courses, and I got my bachelor's degree when I was 64 years old.
Oh.
And
you're kidding me. I thought you already had your master's.
I'm working on my master's now.
Oh, okay.
But I started teaching.
You're so intellectual. I thought you were like...
I'm from Bridgeport. I'm
from Bridgeport too, but I don't...
I'm from the hood.
I don't have...
we just grew up good. So,
yes, you did. You had good teachers.
So,
yeah.
And
I tell everybody, go back to school right now. I told Joe, when I turn 62, I'm going to take a class every semester and work.
There you go.
And I'm going to be a lifetime student because,
right.
I never got anything for free. So, you got to make the best of it. But I always thought you had your master's because of the
I always
jobs.
just had an associate's degree and
okay.
worked. And, sometimes when you're working, but not having a bachelor's degree for me, I couldn't move up. I couldn't be a vice president or something. So I said, one day I'm going to go back. And,
you can only do lateral.
So,
unless, like you said, if you work in the same field and get the experience. I mean, I love my job. Before I started my insurance business, which this is the best business in the world.
Well, you're good at it. You're good at it.
I mean, I tell you, I can. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That hard work you put in has turned into, it's turned into you being here. Because I remember when you first told me you had a TV show, I'm like, he ain't got no TV show. I don't know what he's doing. But this is amazing.
It is. This is a blessing. I don't even.
You should be on, like, TV. You should have your own channel. I believe. Oh, she better. I believe you're going to be discovered. I really, really believe someone's going to say, "Hey, come on, we want you to do a pilot or something." You make me feel comfortable because I started out very nervous, and it seems like exactly how to talk to people, and.
You're a good friend of mine. I know how to talk to you.
Well, I watch you
even when you're mad, I know how to talk to you. I just don't talk. That's what you do. Shut your mouth. But really, the way I fell into this is amazing. It was my cousin Glenn Petway, Tony Barr, and Charlie Coviello, and this used to be on State Street. They invited me on the show to talk about my Medicare. And so we had such a good show, they kept inviting me back, and me, I just kept coming. And then little by little, Glenn stopped coming, and then, unfortunately, Charlie Coviello, we lost him, he passed away, and Tony got into politics, and here I am. I said, this was a blessing. I said, I don't have any degrees in communication or anything else for that matter, and here I am.
Well,
and I just
this
thank
is what I'm
God
talking
for
about.
this, that I'm able to reach people. I've had people call me, like when I talk about my Medicare, I said I'll come anywhere in Connecticut, I'll drive anywhere, sit at your kitchen table, and give you a free confidential needs analysis.
But see, these opportunities came to you later in life. So some people close the door in their life. You never,
never give up.
I don't like that word retirement. Retirement is something to me where you retire in your brain, and that's not a good thing.
And how could you retire from something you're so passionate about? I love what I do. I help people. It's almost like not just a job. It's almost like a little ministry.
I've referred people to you here in Connecticut to
you. Thank you.
And they were like, oh, wow. They rave about you. And tomorrow is going to be the showcase of that.
Yep.
And,
I'm going to
you
do
know,
my little
I'm
3-minute thank you speech.
you know, proud to be here. But one thing I wanted to say when we go back to Bridgeport, and I don't want to leave this, it gives me an opportunity to pay tribute to some mentors. And, you know, you like you said, I'm polished, I seem educated, but see, I had a lot of mentors here in Bridgeport. I want to,
You are
I have to
educated. You
look
don't
at
seem.
this gentleman. His name is Reginald Donnell Cathy. Mr. Cathy, that's one of the reasons I'm a Cowboy fan. He was my
Oh boy.
he was my
You
eighth
just turned
grade.
down the wrong
No,
road.
He's from Bridgeport.
Cowboys.
Listen, he's from Bridgeport. He went to Central High School. He got drafted by Kansas City Chiefs, played for the Cowboys. Then he came back and was my 8th grade gym teacher. And this is 1967, 68. That's like, you're looking at this guy like he's a god.
Yeah.
And he came in every day with the suit, the bow tie, dapper, sharp. And I just looked at him as being a role model. We had a lot of good role models here growing up. And, I'll look at some of the older guys that mentored. I'll name some of the older Jeter guys. We used to go to the Y, and you see Stan Jeter and a couple of those guys would dress, mustache, hair, everything was perfect. So, I could name Bill Tinkler. He was over at Bassick, but he was another one played professional football and came back and taught. So Bridgeport was a place where you didn't do this by yourself.
It's a community.
Yeah. You had to have people. And then my dad. My dad was my best role model.
That's
He was hard-working guy. I never seen him wear a pair of jeans in his life.
Really? Oh,
Or
so
a pair of
comfortable.
sneakers. Never.
Wow.
Never,
Always
never.
dressed up. Wow.
That was it. That was.
Yeah, you need mentorship. I mean, it's just so important.
But I just wanted to, Bridgeport is special for me. And,
I
special.
love Bridgeport because, well, I was born in Alabama. I moved up here when I was 3. But I know that I didn't get from where I was to where I am today without, God first.
Oh,
And
my goodness,
a lot of people along the way that cared
yeah.
about me.
Yeah.
So, it's always important to give back in one way or another.
Right.
And so in my job, I do a little volunteering work with, with people. And it makes me feel so good when I'm able to, I'll walk into a house and save money, help folks save that Part B premium because they don't understand the difference between all of that.
That's important.
That's huge.
Saving
so if you got a husband and wife,
money
you're putting
at that point
$350.
That's a big savings
It is.
if you're 70 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we got about 2.5 minutes left. I don't want to talk about me.
No.
I'm here every week.
Well,
what would you like to
I
say
just
for the
want
last
to say,
2
as
minutes?
you say, helping people. I didn't say anything about nonprofit, but my college degree is in public policy and nonprofit. So I want to have a nonprofit. I want to help young. I want to be a mentor like the mentors I told you about, and be able to help them go to college and pay for their books, pay for incidental charges. So
Nice.
that's the nonprofit start.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's great.
but otherwise, wow.
Well, you're already helping me. You're making me a QR code, or is it RQ
Oh yeah,
code?
yeah.
I'm so technically challenged.
Oh my goodness.
It's
My
a
goodness.
QR code.
Yeah. So
yeah.
people, you can do a form and fill out a survey and stuff. So.
Awesome. And they can just tell me what they think about my service or.
Yeah.
Well, you can
You
look
can
me
have-
up
you
now.
can-
If you
you
Google
can put it
Vanita
over
Lambert,
there.
I'm already there.
No, you're good. Dude, come on.
Okay, so 1 minute, John. John, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming on the show. Finally,
this is,
it took a little time, but you're here. That's all that matters.
Yep.
And I really
Very
appreciate that.
special
This is going to
for
be
me.
on YouTube. You can save
Wow.
it and show it to your grandkids.
Wow.
So thank you very much. This is the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.
All right.